Hey guys, what a frustrating game of football. Chelsea won, Nottingham Forest won, 113 minutes of absolute insanity in a very, very frustrating game that we could have won, probably should have won, and what would have represented a sensational win. Yes, we're at home, but context is required for this game, guys. Forest are in scintillating away. They're unbeaten away from home this season. They won away at Anfield against the league leaders Liverpool this season. I said 2-1, I think. This would have been such a big win to go into the international break. We didn't lose it, and we got Rob Sanchez to thank for that. We're going to get into it all. Negatives, though, both Wesley Fofana and Marc Cucurella were booked in this game. In fact, we had a lot of bookings. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 bookings. That's clearly a problem for Enzo Maresca's Chelsea side. So both Cucurella and Wesley Fofana will be suspended for our next game, which I do believe is at Anfield. No? I think so. Yes, it is. Away at Anfield. Sickening stuff. Anyway, we're going to talk about it today. Thank you for joining me. Please do consider supporting this content on Football Therapy. You're almost welcome here. So thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. If you choose to subscribe, hit the bell. Let's get into it. Forest are in good form. Like I said, Nuno Espirito Santo. So he's done a number on us before with Wolverhampton Wanderers. They were going to, I was very, very worried about Callum Hudson-Odoi because of the narrative factor, but it's such a tough game. It's breaking down the low block, and of course there was that element of we took off when they went a man down. It made me, I got excited, like a better chance to score, but then I was like, Nottingham Forest away from home being managed by Nuno Espirito Santo with something to protect going a man down. I just figured this is going to be rough, bro. And so it came to pass. Let's have a look at SofaScore, shall we? Alright, mate, as you can see here at the top of the screen on the left-hand side is attacking momentum. Chelsea green, Forest red. Chelsea were dominant in this game. That first half, pretty darn boring, but us with a lot of the ball. We knew what kind of game it was going to be. And hot dog, why should Forest not play like that? You won't be surprised to learn that Cole Palmer was the player of the match here on SofaScore. In terms of lineups, let's have a quick look here. Rob Sanchez in goal. Oh, mama, we will talk about him. Gusto right back, Cucurella left back. Gusto being the inverting player, which this will demonstrate here, which is his heat map. Let's have a look at Cucurella. Yeah, Cucurella sometimes going into that pocket here, but essentially playing more as a left back. Combining with Jadon Sancho, which he's got like good chemistry with now. But yeah, Gusto being the one overloading midfield there. So 4-2-3-1, Caicedo and Enzo, Sancho on the left, Noni on the right, Cole behind Nico. A similar 4-2-3-1. They got a couple of free kicks outside the box, which terrified me because they had James Ward-Prowse, who was a key figure in this game. The first free kick outside the box, he did something that the rest of his teammates didn't. They all read it wrong, and the second one was a save. And of course, he got a second yellow. Let's just talk about that now. His second yellow card, he dived and grabbed the ball like a rugby player, an NFL player. And I know Jackson was sort of through running on goal. I know it wasn't a goal scoring chance, but thank God he was already on a yellow, because if that wasn't a dismissal some way or another, I would not have been able to deal with it. So much happened in this game, guys. There was a big fight. There was that moment just while it's in my head, because it's not going to be listed here. Well, I think it was in the first half, at the end of the first half, where we had a chance and we were scrambling, and the ball went behind the goalkeeper, Matt Sells, and just didn't cross the line. We played some really good attacking football around the 18-yard box, and it just didn't go in. It just felt like, how was that not a goal? There was a lot of chances like that. In terms of let's have a quick look at the stats before we try and take you through it. So the first half, 66% possession, 1 XG nearly, which is fine. That's totally fine from us. Fan. South Park reference there. Of course, much more possession, much more goal threat. 9 shots to their 6. Fine generally. Second half, we had 1.18 XG, but some of that was with 10 men. Again, it's going to be really, really hard to create chances against. But as you can see here, big chances in the second half. They created more, which is frustrating in its own way, I think, because we really, really pushed on. We created vulnerabilities, which allowed the opposition to execute or to create big chances. And I tell you what, Rob Sanchez in goal, I just don't know what to feel about this guy, because he was sensational again in this game in terms of shots saved. All right, so Nuno was booked because they have a disciplinary problem as well, Forest. So this was just absolutely, built to be some sort of card-laden drama. Caicedo and Ward-Prowse both booked in the first half. Of course, Ward-Prowse going in the second half. Okay, so off a set piece, Wood scores, assist, Milenkovic. By the way, they've got a really good team for us. They are a good team. Whether Nuno's the guy, he seems like the guy right now to be leading them because they're doing so well. But you look across, they got a lot of quality, and their defense actually is really, really good. And of course, their goalkeeper Matt Sells was really good in this game to keep us out. Even though he was doing a lot of that sugar housery. As you'd expect, it's Nottingham Forest away with something to protect at Stamford Bridge against an informed Chelsea. It's kind of like fine. But yeah, their defense is really, really good. The players, their centre-back partnership between Murillo and Milenkovic is actually really friggin' strong. And their goal they score, I was looking at it, it's the set piece, the way it comes across and the way Wood finishes it. At first, I was saying this on Instagram, I was like, right, who's to blame? What Chelsea player is messed up here? Who can I moan about? And there was nothing obvious. And I immediately gravitated to Sanchez because he had recently fluctuated into bad Robert Sanchez again. But it was he can't get over the way it's finished. It's not his fault at all. And he actually became the saviour of this game in many ways. So I was like, all right, fine. We've huffed and we've puffed. We've been the better team. We've not been able to break them down. They've scored a good goal from a set piece here. But within minutes, friggin' minutes, Noni Madueke scores a great goal that goes for a bunch of legs and finishes at the far post. As in the finish goes to the far post. Assist Cole Palmer, which is nice for our fantasy football teams. Now, Noni Madueke was a very frustrating figure in this game because he had 3 shots, maybe more, 3 notable goal-scoring attempts in this game prior to the goal. 2 of them he shouldn't have taken on, and the third was really close, and it's fair play. Do you know what I mean? Cole Palmer got booked. Jesus. Learning about that. Of course, we see the Ward-Prowse second yellow in the 78th minute, and because of that long-term treatment to Morgan Gibbs-White, and obviously a big ruck, a fight later, James Ward-Prowse, he's literally he dives and grabs the ball. Yeah, like I said, if that was just the first yellow, I'd be like, how is he still on the pitch for doing that? But like I said, at this point, I'm thinking, oh God, we know there's going to be a lot of stoppage time, but we're bleeding minutes now, dude. So of course, expected substitution of Nkunku for Jackson. Expected Felix when you need a goal, not for Enzo Fernandez. But when you're a man up and you've got an overload, you don't need the extra player. So just tell Felix to play a little bit deeper, play passes, overload the box if you can, and try and finish with chances. And of course, there was 2 chances towards the end. Well, there was a bunch really, but 2 notable where Felix, Netflix, Neto to Felix again, puts in a cross. He heads it. He does well to meet it. I'm not saying it's a sitter, but he should score. Similarly, we see another chance like that with Nkunku. So these 2 players that have come on, a header again. I think he forces an excellent save out of Sells and goal. So it was agonizing, and this will be publicized as a heroic defensive performance, I imagine, from Forest, but very, very frustrating for Chelsea. They make some changes as well. Fresh legs. Nico Williams, by the way. Forced an amazing save from Rob Sanchez, and another one towards the end. He made an excellent save, and of course, it's the 89th minute, I believe, just before that, because that's when the cards were given out. There was a big old fight. I think it was Nico Williams and Cucurella chasing a ball. Cucurella does sort of push him, and it's on the edge of a foul. and then he goes down, then he gets kicked, so he gets fouled by Nico Williams. Cucurella goes down, he takes out Enzo Maresca, falls over, but fortunately, it's not like, you take out Roy Hodgson and everyone goes, it's like, he's a fit 40-year-old man, so he just doesn't really care, gets up. And a big fight ensues. Well, Cucurella needlessly gets booked, and seeing him banned for Anfield, and Colwill gets booked as well. He's also nursing a niggling injury. We get 13 minutes stoppage time. Let's have a look here. 13-minute stoppage time, as you can see in the top left, additional time. And then we see some like-for-like changes. Some Mudryk left winger for Sancho left winger, Neto right winger for Noni right winger, protecting Colwill for a multitude of reasons, because he was kind of injured and he got a booking for arguing. He likes getting stuck in, doesn't he, Colwill? So Tosin comes on, totally fine. All positive changes. No one can have any problem with that. Matt Sells gets booked for time wasting. And that Fofana one is just really, really frustrating. Not being able to get him in for Anfield is just so friggin' frustrating, bro. All right, player performances. Well, okay. So exhausting, isn't it? So, you know what? Let's use this to look at some stats, shall we? So Rob Sanchez in goal was pretty darn amazing. I don't think he was at fault for the goal. He made 8 saves, bro. 8 saves. 1 out of his 1 run-outs, high claims, saves from inside the box. So that run-out is like sweeper keeper when he came out and sprinted and cleared the ball when it was through on goal. Very good. He was freaking good. He was good. He was good, Rob Sanchez. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all you need to know. Marc Cucurella was 49 out of his 50 passes was good. Not great for his duels. He won a third of both aerial and ground, so no crosses completed, no long balls completed. Not the greatest game from Cucurella. His positioning's quite good, but frustrating. Gusto, of course, being the inverted midfielder. Expected to see sort of okay, really. Not great for ground duels. Lost possession 15 times, which I don't really want against this side. Yeah, maybe not his greatest game. Did complete 5 long balls, but he tried 10, so probably not my favourite. Caicedo, let's have a look then. Central defensive midfielder, 59 out of 67 passes. Yeah, pretty poor from him, actually. Pretty poor showing. For example, 3 out of his 8 ground duels. A lot of possession lost from these Maresca players, I'm seeing. Into double digits as a CDM, but he does try and make progressive plays. Yeah, not a good game from Moises Caicedo, a player that has been largely excellent of late. Now, Enzo, I want more passes completed when you've got that much ball and you're a passing midfielder, personally. Not necessarily the percentage, but show for the ball more so you have more. Yeah, again, like, this is a tale, like, this is really peculiar. 2 key passes, very good. For his type of player in central midfield, to create 2 key passes in a game from that central midfield position, good. 3 out of 3 long balls, good. 0 out of 4 crosses, very bad. He did complete a dribble. He did win half of his ground duels, so he's got to be that or above, which is okay. Didn't win any aerials. Yeah, good. Better than Caicedo. Better than Caicedo, you'd have to say. Now, Jadon Sancho, I actually thought was very threatening. He looked very good on the ball. He only had 47 touches, but he made 3 key passes, which is elite creativity, and this is why he's got 3 assists so far in the league. Unsurprisingly, won 100% of his dribbles, and to be honest, this is more like it. For me, won 4 out of 6 ground duels. Some of the defensive players can learn something about that from Sancho. And he only lost possession 10 times, when actually he and Noni Madueke are the players you expect to lose the possession most. When they're losing possession, looking seemingly the least out of some. Speaking of Noni, who scored the goal that got us the point. His expected goals is only 0.33, which tells you a few things, right? It tells you his goal was very good, and it tells you he should not have been taking all those shots he was taking. On the Chelsea Instagram, everyone was saying, tell Madueke to pass, which goes to show, yeah, it wasn't there. The shot value wasn't there, and he was taking shots. But he got the goal, and you know me, guys, I'm really into shot volume. I do feel like to score a lot of goals, you've got to take a lot of shots. I bang on about it all the time. And again, he got 3 key passes as well, like Sancho, so that's good. That's good. Yeah, to be honest, 7 out of his 13 ground duels, that's over 50%, that's strong. 1 out of 1. And again, yeah, losing the ball 12 times in Noni's position, I'm okay with. So yes, in the end, a very strong performance from Noni Madueke, even though he was very frustrating in the first half. Cole Palmer, the king of the world, he had 81 touches. Let's have a look then here. Key passes. 6 key passes is quite... Oh, you can't see. 6 key passes is quite frankly absurd, guys, in a game. That's a creative masterstroke. Of course, you got an assist from it. He rather peculiarly didn't complete any of his 7 crosses. Sometimes you can put crosses down to people not meeting them properly. But took 2 shots on target, 2 shots off target, completed 1 out of his 1 dribbles, and yeah, ground duels strong as well. He didn't try to win any aerial duels, but he never does. He's not that kind of player. Ultimately, a world-class player, doing pretty darn good. Let's end this on Nico Jackson, shall we? 0.5 expected goals. I think he worked very hard. 2 out of 2 dribbles is good for centre forwards, you'd have to say. Ground duels 3 out of 5 acceptable. Aerial duels not acceptable. You're a striker, you can't be winning 25% of your aerial duels, especially if you and Nico, you and Nkunku. Nico's the more centre forwardy guy that we talk about. If you're gonna be that guy, you know, you need to be winning that. This is the kind of stats that Chelsea will look at and think, what's Osimhen doing in January? Do you know what I mean? There is a touch of that, so. And yeah, and then the other subs, you know, they're all like mid yellows there. It's not the worst. It's not the worst result in the world, all things considered. I mean, again, Sanchez spared our blushes by absolutely bailing us out right at the end there with a couple of super saves, sensational saves. And again, I'm so confused about Rob Sanchez. He's amazing. He's frustrating. He's amazing. He's frustrating. Yeah, maybe we just need time. I wonder, like, if this is the kind of game that, you know, Man City come up against, that they win it 2-1 and they just find a way because they're seasoned champions, and that's the difference, you know? That's the difference. It's a 1 goal difference, and to get that 1 goal, you need to be seasoned, champion superstars. Which sounds silly the way, be like, oh yeah, you're defending not beating Forest at home. This Forest iteration right now at home, these type of games, yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. This Forest that beat Liverpool at Anfield, you know, again, who are top of the Premier League table. Now, they're not always going to be like this Forest. I think they'll drop off and they'll probably get a bit better at home and a bit worse away or whatever. They'll probably almost certainly drop down the table. But these kind of games, these happen. And I feel like the difference being, if you're a sort of settled, like I said, like a matured side, that you just find a way, man. Transition, thank you very much. So yes, fine, still in the hunt for top 4. Let me know what you think, guys. Please do comment down below. I do want to quickly look at the Premier League table just before I leave. We are still in top 4 on goal difference because Aston Villa drew with Manchester United, which is a bad look for them. So yeah, I think we end the yeah, because Tottenham, even if they win, they can only go a point behind us. So yeah, we go into the international break in the top 4, and yeah, it's not that bad, really, man. You know, it's probably an okay result, but it's frustrating. So thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. I can't wait to read your comments and seeing you back here on the channel very soon. Peace.